Not long ago, Lil Mabu was one of the most relevant drill rappers. Praised for his genius social media marketing, he gained the kind of traction most rappers dream of in a short time, setting himself up for a wildly successful come-up. But just months later, his numbers have declined, dropping from 8.4 million monthly Spotify listeners just to 2 million. His last song pulled in 13 million views, yet his latest barely scrapes 1 million on YouTube and has only 600,000 Spotify streams. How did he go from collaborating with stars like Fabio Foreign to being compared to Ice Spice at her peak and Central C only to fall off so fast? Was he an industry plant who got exposed?
If I'm an industry plant, why am I not on Spotify editorial playlist? Why am I not on Rap Caviar?
Or did the music industry simply refuse to accept him?
I'm more blackballed than I am planted.
To find the answer, we need to look at his rise to fame. Lil Mabu's come-up wasn't built on traditional rap credentials. He didn't come from the street like most drill rappers do, and he wasn't some underground artist who built a buzz off raw talent. He was first and foremost a kid who understood internet culture better than most of his peers. His early music was nothing like the aggressive drill sound he became known for. A few years prior to his current persona, he was making lighthearted melodic rap, dropping commercial-sounding tracks like Miss Me, which had more in common with pop rap than anything remotely drill. However, these songs didn't get much attention, but they did show something important. Mabu wasn't trying to be real from the start. He was experimenting, testing different styles to see what would work, almost as if he'd do anything to get more popularity with his music. And at a certain point, Mabu realized that drill was becoming more popular, and that's when he made a sharp pivot by starting to make drill songs which performed better compared to his previous attempts at commercial rap. In 2021, he dropped Demon Time, which was his first song that got attention, but the comments on the music video weren't matching those that drill songs usually get. They were pointing out the irony of a rich white suburban kid making drill rap music. These comments could have easily been interpreted as discouraging or demotivating, but instead, Mabu would double down on this shtick. From this point onwards, Lil Mabu started changing how people saw him, building a fake image of having street credibility. He teamed up with other drill rappers like Didi Osama and Dusty Locane to make songs like No Snitching, which introduced him to a lot of people. On top of that, he started to post a bunch of TikToks and YouTube shorts where he acted like he was caught in dangerous situations or pretending to carry a weapon. And this got a lot of attention as people saw irony in a white privileged teenager acting like a New York gangster and being featured on songs with respected drill rappers, even though Mabu came off as a clear outsider. But this is exactly what Mabu wanted, as he was getting attention. And at this point, he fully embraced the joke of him being an outsider in drill with songs like Trip to the Hood. The exaggerated delivery, the almost cartoonish music video, and the self-aware humor made him go viral, and people ironically started calling him things like the White King Von. He wasn't just making drill music, he was turning it into a spectacle, incorporating memeable attributes both musically and through his online presence, so he continued getting attention, and it was working really well. One day, he'd say out-of-pocket stuff in his songs, the other, he'd be shooting zombies with Didi Osama or deliberately engaging in controversy by dating Blueface's girlfriend. Basically, he had gained momentum by embracing his ironic image and pulling off stunts and something new with every song. But even though everything fell into place, all of this would become a problem for Lil Mabu. You see, Mabu's success was built on novelty. People tuned in because they were entertained and he was trending. But an audience that is built off of viral moments and trends can only take you so far if you can't sustain that virality or aren't capable of fostering a serious audience off the viral moments you make. Once people had seen the Lil Mabu gimmick a few times, it wasn't as exciting anymore unless he pulled a new crazy stunt worthy of going viral on TikTok. You see, the biggest issue was that his music relied on shock value and internet moments rather than genuine artistry or even just being serious. His drill persona wasn't rooted in anything real, so once the jokes started getting old, there wasn't much left to keep fans engaged. This is why artists like Kendrick Lamar or Drake or even someone not in the big three like Denzel Curry has sustained a lot of listeners even though he doesn't have to come up with TikTok dances every time he's putting out a single, because it's his music that people are tuning in for, not because of irony or viral moments or memes, etc. But this is not the only challenge Mabu faces because of this ironic persona. He has been criticized by critics like Anthony Fantano, who see his music as a mix of both respect and mockery of drill music, and his marketing approach as highly opportunistic and selfish.
As most of his songs and YouTube shorts and music videos are kind of dripping with irreverence and mockery, intentional or not. Seeing Mabu build a name for himself doing all of this leaves me impressed in one breath but also kind of grossed out in another, because unless he has a huge team of people behind him, he is single-handedly responsible for some of the smartest but also some of the most cynical and opportunistic music marketing I've seen from an independent artist ever.
Mabu's viral marketing worked, but it didn't fully convince the mainstream music world either, which put him in a very weird position where he gained millions of views, but he wasn't really mainstream or being taken seriously by the industry or hip-hop fans, as he wasn't even a part of 2024's XXL freshman class, despite being more popular than any of the artists in it. And this would lead to his last song that was 7 months ago, which is basically again the same shtick of him rapping like a New York gangster and at the same time having his school bus in the video. But this time the stunt was that he would diss XXL for not including him despite him being more popular. Furthermore, Lil Mabu would respond to the idea of people calling him an industry plant and say that he's actually blackballed by the music industry.
First reaction to being called an industry plant. I think I just laughed because it's like, planted by who? You know, my parents have no involvement in the music industry. They didn't even know half the shit I was doing. I understand that whole industry plant thing was an attempt to discredit me. If y'all actually use your fucking brain, if I'm an industry plant, why am I not on Spotify editorial playlist? Why am I not on Rap Caviar? Everything that's label run, Mabu doesn't see the light of day. I'm more blackballed than I am planted. Listen, man, I'll take it as a compliment. I appreciate it.
One possible crucial reason for the decline in Lil Mabu's numbers is the 7-month-long break he took, which may have been driven by demotivation due to his lack of acceptance in the mainstream music industry. His music, which heavily relies on gimmicks and shock value, can only sustain interest for so long. People are drawn to novelty, but once the initial excitement wears off, a one-dimensional persona loses its appeal. Without a deeper connection to his music or persona, the novelty fades, leaving fans less engaged over time. Lil Mabu has two possible paths. One, he could successfully transition into a serious rap career, distancing himself from the drill scene that made him famous, and eventually be accepted by the music industry, or he can fade away, leaving behind an image of violent gangster rap like rappers we've witnessed in the past. Except for him, it would be even worse because it was all just fake persona to gain clout. Let me know what you guys think and subscribe so we can reach 1,000 subscribers before the end of this year.